Hello, and welcome to Mindfulness for Beginners, Day 2. And we're going to talk a little today about what to expect from mindfulness. And we have a certain view in society of people who meditate. It's mindfulness is very much like meditation. It's meditation without any religious connotations. There's essentially the same practices, lots of the same techniques involving focusing on breath or focusing on other things. You can do still practices and moving practices. But in our mythology, in our stories, when people are talked about as people being, that people who meditate, they tend to be characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. They tend to be elderly, venerable characters who are very peaceful, who speak very calmly. And everyone has a view. If you say to someone, picture or describe to me somebody you imagine, meditates or does mindfulness every day, there is a certain image we give of that. And I do not conform to that. I mean, I've been doing mindfulness or meditation for decades, and no one has ever described me as calm or still. However, I like to think I handle stress really well, and I sleep like a baby, regardless of what's going on. So one of the things when thinking about mindfulness and what to expect is don't expect it to make you into one of the characters that you're used to seeing. Don't expect it to be like that. The other thing is what do you imagine it's going to feel like to be someone who does it? Now, lots of people expect when they sit down to do a quiet practice that they'll chill so that you don't mind doing it. It's kind of like learning to drive. There's a point where you're overthinking it, and there's a point where things start to flow more easily. It doesn't suddenly mean you're a better driver. It means that your relationship to driving has changed and it's an easier process. But I would suggest to people when starting off, you need to be thinking about 6 to 8 weeks. Do a practice once a day for 6 to 8 weeks, and then review, and then see how that feels for you. And accept your experience as you do it. Don't do the next 6 to 8 weeks with a sense of your experience is going to be a certain thing. Expectations don't make us happier. They absolutely set things up to cause distress or cause problems. But don't do that. This is very much like deciding to do 6 to 8 weeks exercise. That the intention is to be fitter at the end of it. And if you do 6 or 8 weeks exercise, you will be fitter at the end of it. However, if the most important thing in doing it is that you have a good experience every day, or that the experience every day is what you expected to be doing in the exercise, there's a fairly good chance you'll stop doing it. Because it's about the commitment and the repetition and not judging the experience and focusing more on the repetition that's really important. All our body systems have a rhythm. You eat and it satiates your hunger for 4 or 5 hours. You have a drink of something and it quenches your thirst probably for a couple of hours. You sleep and you get 6 or 8 hours sleep and you're good for 16 hours. Exercise. If you do some exercise this week, great. If you don't do it for the next 2 weeks and then do some more, you'll really feel the period that you haven't. So all of our body's rhythms are based on repetition. They're based on a rhythm. They're based on doing it again. And mindfulness, dealing with how our mind handles things, dealing with our ability to relax, bump people off, or that you're just going nuts or whatever. It's about starting the process of helping before you get to that end. So it's about doing a little and finding a way that you make it comfortable for you to do a little every too much to start with. Expect that you'll keep doing it and you'll be delighted with the results. So I'm going to do another practice today, same as yesterday. So take a moment to get comfortable and allow yourself to settle. And then allow your attention to go to your feet and allow yourself to be aware of your feet and to focus on your feet. And then allow your eyes to close and really heighten your awareness of your feet. Really draw your attention to your feet. Then allow your awareness to move to your knees. Then draw your attention to your seat. Notice what it feels like to be sitting. Notice how steady that feels. And just feel what it feels like to be sitting. And allow your attention to move to your low back. And notice how your low back feels. And then allow your attention to move to your mid back. And notice how your mid back feels. And then allow your attention to move to your upper back. And notice how your upper back feels. And then move your attention to your shoulders. And notice how your shoulders feel. The front part of your shoulders. And the top of your shoulders. And the back of your shoulders. And really allow yourself to be aware of your shoulders. Then allow your awareness to move into your arms. Allow yourself to be conscious of your arms. They hang at the side of your body. And notice how your arms feel. And allow your attention to move to your hands. And notice how your hands feel. Notice how they're settled. Notice how they're sitting. And then draw your attention up to your head. And notice how your head feels on your shoulders. Notice your breathing rhythm and pick it up. And just follow your breathing rhythm as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Don't try and change your breathing rhythm. Don't try and make the breath deeper or slower. Just follow your natural breath. Notice your breathing and follow that breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just follow that breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Feel the flow of your breath. Feel that rhythm of your breath. And let it carry you as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And as you breathe in and out, focusing on your breath, I'd just like you to heighten your awareness at the very starting point of the breath, where the air exists just outside the body, just outside your nose and mouth. And just be aware of that breath part there as you breathe in and out. And then as you breathe in and out, I'd like you to be particularly aware at the start of the in-breath, where the breath enters the body through the mouth or the nose. And as you breathe in and out, just be particularly aware of the in part of that breath through the mouth or the nose. And then as you breathe in and out, I'd like you to be aware of the breath as it passes from the start, from the mouth and nose to the back of the head. So through the mouth or through the sinuses. Just As you breathe in and out, be aware of the breath coming in across those areas, from the front to the back of the head. And then as you breathe in and out, I'd like you to be aware of the breath, the in part of the breath as it goes down the throat. So you're aware of the breath from the back of the throat down to the neck, towards the chest. Just the in part. As you breathe in and out, just particularly focus on the in part of that breath. And then allow yourself to be aware of the in part of the breath as it expands the chest. So still following your breath as you breathe in and out, just heightening your awareness of the in part of the breath as it inflates your chest. And then I'd like you to be particularly aware of the chest that deflates as the out breath starts. So as you breathe in and out, allow yourself to be particularly aware of the out breath, starting in the chest, with the chest exhaling. And then as you breathe in and out, I'd like you to be particularly aware of the breath as it moves back up through the throat as it leaves the body. So just as you breathe in and out, be particularly aware of the out breath through the neck and the throat as it leaves the body. And allow yourself to be aware of the breath as it exits through the head. So it passes from the back of the throat to the front of the head. Just allow yourself to be particularly aware of that out part of the breath as it passes back through the head on its way out. And then allow yourself to be particularly aware of the breath as it leaves the body, through the mouth or the nose. The final part of the cycle of the breath. As you breathe in and out, just heighten your attention on that exhale. And then as you breathe in and out for a moment, I want you to heighten your attention on all those stages of the breath. As it enters the body, moves through the head, down the neck, to the chest, and then from the chest back up through the neck, through the head, and leaving the body. Just really follow that cycle as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And as we come towards the end of the practice, allow your attention, with your eyes closed still, to go back to your head. Notice how your head feels rests on your shoulders. Notice the front of your head and the sides of your head and the back of your head. And just really allow yourself to focus on how your head feels. Then draw your attention to your shoulders, the front part of your shoulders, the top of the shoulders, the back part of your shoulders. Really notice how your shoulders feel. Feel how settled your shoulders feel. And then allow your attention to move to your arms. And notice your arms as they hang from the side of your body. Notice how they join the shoulders. Notice how your arms are resting and any sensations from any surfaces that they're coming in contact with. And just really notice how your arms feel. Then move your focus to your hands, and however they're resting, put your attention in your hands. Be aware of the surfaces they're touching and how settled your hands feel. Then allow your attention to move to your upper back and notice how it feels. And then draw your attention to your mid-back and notice how your mid-back feels. And then draw your attention to your low back. Really focus on how your low back feels. And then let your attention move into your seat. And really allow yourself to be aware of your seat and how that feels and how settled you feel and how steady it feels to feel supported in the way that you sit. And then allow your attention to move to your knees and focus on how your knees feel. And then draw your attention to your feet. Be aware of how your feet feel, what they're resting against, any sensations you're aware of your feet, and how steady they feel. And then as we come to the end of the practice, you can open your eyes when you're ready. So at this stage with mindfulness, the what to expect would be simply, I expect to keep doing it for 6 to 8 weeks and then review. That's the very best way to look at it. So I hope that was helpful, and see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.